Om Shanti. Greetings of peace from Madrid, Spain. I would like to share with all of you some of my experiences with a very special soul, Dadi Janki. Dadi Janki was for me a mentor, sometimes a grandmother, other times a friend, a coach, a teacher. So many things, and a guide, so many things. For more than 30 years, I was in close contact with her, not seeing her so often, but when I was seeing her, the feeling was to feel very close. She always gave you the feeling of being her friend, and you felt always very empowered when you were in her presence. So there are many stories, many situations and many conversations, but I would like to share some of them, expressing some of her special qualities. Years back, when I was in Sevilla, coordinating the center there, she came for a visit, and at that time, as many times, her health was not so good, but she was so determined, tireless, and such a master of her body that she sends us a message to the core group in Spain saying that she wants to visit all the centers in Spain. At that time we had 9 centers. So she had this determined thought, and she was coming to Spain, and she was coming every day to one center, giving the class in the morning, giving a lecture in the evening, and next day traveling to the next center. And for 9 days she was doing this. And as I said, her health was not so good, but her determination, her spirit of serving and giving happiness and contributing was so great, so big. Her heart was so great that she was able to do it. But not only to do it, but with some good experiences in the middle. So when she came to Sevilla, she gave the lecture. I was introducing her. The hall was completely packed. She had this power of attraction. And when we finished the lecture, it was very close to the center, 5 minutes walk. We were walking, and the sisters who were with her accompanying, they said to me that she could not go up the stairs, so it's better to find a place in the ground floor. So whilst walking to the center, I asked her, do you want me to prepare a room on the ground floor, because your room is upstairs and you have to climb the stairs? And she said to me, do you think that I will think about what will happen in the future? I'm now here walking with all of you. So let's talk of this when we arrive there. So I've learned how she was so present, living right the moment where she was and not thinking even about 10 minutes later when she will sleep. So when we arrived to the center, also the sister said to me, don't distract her. She needs to rest. She needs to go. So no distractions, nothing because it's late. So I was saying anything, but suddenly she arrived there. It was a big house. And she said, very nicely and very softly, very sweet, please, can you show me the center? And I was surprised, thinking that she wanted to go to rest. And no, she was room by room, the office, the kitchen, the main hall, the small places, going around with me and other persons, enjoying the place very sweetly, very nicely. I think she was like bringing her vibrations to each corner of the center. And suddenly, when she finished to see the center, she was going up to the stairs slowly, as no effort, and she arrived to her room and she slept there. So I saw how she was living the present. She was creating all the time this kind of energy that when she needed the energy, she was able to use it for anything. And then I remember this trip. After the 9 days, the last visit was the center in Las Palmas. And so after 9 days, traveling all the time, every day, even in Las Palmas, after the early morning meditation, that was at 4 in the morning, so at 5 something, she started to cook halwa for all the family, herself. And I think at that time she was more than 80 years old. So she was tireless. She was really so enthusiastic to do service, to bring benefit, to give happiness. Such a big heart that she was fully dedicated to the spiritual family, to the persons who were in front, and living the present completely focused on that moment without thinking anything else. So I remember that trip because I went with her to several centers. And I observed how she was managing her energy. So sometimes we were traveling by car and she was sleeping a little bit in the car, but very short periods of time. Suddenly she wake up and ask something and share something. So she was all the time when she was awake, sharing something or asking something, being close to you. And then we went in the middle of the trip, another city was Malaga. And that day, Malaga was really raining, but a heavy rain, very heavy. And we thought, who will come? Just at the time of the lecture, 7 in the evening. So we went there, she sat and she started to meditate. And suddenly people were arriving. So the hall was big. And at that time, it was a hall of 400 people. So it was the first time in Malaga we rent a place like this. And suddenly the hall was packed, even though the rain was there. And I remember that lecture, she sat in the front, and Sister Janki, she was with her. She gave the lecture, mainly. And Dadi was there simply sitting and just giving these vibrations of peace. So her presence was so powerful. And the persons in the program, after that, they had such a good experiences of peace, love, connection with God. So my learnings also was that she was able not even to talk, but just her presence. He brought the energy of God and shared this love and this energy with the audience. And the audience were receiving this beautiful energy, this power, this spiritual power. So she was tireless. She was enthusiastic from doing service. She was very powerful. She was a master of her body. She was all the time close to you, creating a relationship. She was so detached at the same time. But at the same time, you felt so loving and so close. So many qualities in just one trip. But not qualities that she was talking about them, but you saw them in practical life, in different moments. And I remember another visit in Sevilla when I was working in Expo 92, so it was year 92. And at that time, I've learned from her how she was so humble, how she was so adaptable to the situations, even though she was a daddy and she was a senior in the organization. So she came to the center there. At that time was a small center. This was before the other experience. And I was living with another brother. And we left the center for them and we went to another place. Sevilla is very hot in summer. So she came in August because the expo was mainly in the summertime. And she wanted to visit the Expo 92. So she was sleeping on that center. We didn't have air conditioner. So she said to me the next day that she was sleeping in the main hall because there was a fan there. Even in my room was not a fan. In those days, long time ago, we didn't have this facility so often in the places that we rent. But she was completely happy and adaptable, and just explaining this as a incident. Oh, it was so hot that I was sleeping in the main hall. And I said, wow, Daddy, without air conditioner, so hot, and at the same time, very stable and very humble. And then we went to visit the expo, the different pavilions. I was working in one of the pavilions, the pavilion of the universe. So I had a small car, electric car, and I took her to different places. And my thought was, well, Daddy is so detached from all these things that she will just look a little bit and then go back to the center. And for my surprise, she was like a little child, enjoying every scene, enjoying every pavilion, asking me to go here and there. And I was surprised, this spirit of being so young, like a child, enjoying every moment in a different way. But she had all the time this little box of sweets, we call it tollies, and also these little cards, blessings. And at every step, every moment, I remember in the lift with some persons who were coming inside the lift to see a pavilion, and she was giving them this sweet and these blessings. And every place when she meets some persons, even the persons who were supporting the pavilion or helping to guide the people here and there, she was smiling, looking at their eyes, giving her this sweet tolly, this sweet and this blessing. And you saw step by step, he was serving every person that she met in her way. And they were smiling and thinking, who is this person so special? Of course, she's dressing the sari, so they knew that she came from India, no? So they were so impressed by her, just by her presence. And she was giving all the time this happiness wherever she went. And in the middle of the visit, she said to me, I would like that all the residents of Madhuban, the headquarters of Brahma Kumaris in India, could have the opportunity to come here, because here you can see the whole world together in one place. So I was also surprised that she was enjoying, but at the same time, she had in mind the spiritual family in India, and she had in mind how these sisters and brothers there would enjoy very much to see all these pavilions from all over the world in the same place. So she had in her consciousness, in her mind, always she was bringing other people, bringing there and trying to give them also benefit. So she was a really generous person, generous heart. So I learned so much from her in these practical situations, And when you were going with her, you felt so, I would say, so empowered, because just her presence was giving you the feeling that you felt so great. She was looking at you with such a spiritual vision and such a self-respect, and seeing you in such respectful way that you felt great with her. And you wanted to be with her, and you wanted to serve her, and you wanted to help her, and you wanted to do what she was saying to you. And I have observed that this was one of the key factors that she has such an impact on other people, her spiritual internal vision of yourself. She was looking at you in a different way. My feeling was she was not looking at your face, your age. She was looking something deeper. She was looking to your soul. She was looking, and not only to the soul, but the potential of the soul. It's like she was always holding such a high consciousness of you, such a high level of vision about you, not expressing through words, but the attitude and the energy that you felt empowered, you felt great with her. And she said always, you are my friend. And you felt that you were such a close friend from her. And then you realize that other people said the same. Daddy has said to me, I'm your friend, I feel so close. So you thought, wow, she is doing the same with everyone. But you felt that you were a special friend from her. But at the same time, she was doing with everyone this. So she became the friend of all of us. She became the guide of all of us. And she became, I think, the real example of what a spiritual life, a really powerful spiritual life is about. So for me, still now, I'm thinking about her. I remember her words. I remember many of the things that she told me, and not only the classes, but especially in these special moments of sharing together in practical situations. So there are many more stories, but these were some of them who were impacted me and still are in my memories as a really gift in my heart of such a elevated, beautiful and powerful soul. Om Shanti.